Friends, we're going to welcome to the show now Republican Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us on this Palm Sunday.
Thank you for having me, man. And purple's my favorite color. It's
Is
the
it?
color
Well,
of
but you know
royalty.
what? Your Tennessee orange is one of my favorite colors as well. My parents went to school there and met in English class. On to
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
Exiled Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi assured the crowd at CPAC that freedom is within reach for his home country because of President Trump. Listen.
A free Iran is not a fantasy. A free Iran is within reach right now. What we ask of America now is simple. Stay the course. Do not throw this crumbling regime a lifeline. Pave the way for the Iranian people to finish the job.
So Pahlavi saying, keep the pressure on, finish the job, finish what you started. Is there a chance for a free Iran, and will the U.S. cease fighting even if that does not happen?
Yes, ma'am. I firmly believe there is a chance for that, but the people of Iran are going to have to take the bull by the horns right here because we're limited. I don't think there's a will for a ground conflict between America and Iran. I know a lot of Republicans don't support that, and I know all the Democrats won't support it. So I firmly believe that there is room there for it, but I don't think that now is the time to let up either.
Well, is it becoming a political problem for the president, for Republicans, even within your party? This Washington Post report that came out today saying that the Pentagon is preparing for potential weeks of ground force operations there by American boots on the ground. Then you had Caroline Leavitt. She was asked about it. She said that these are just options, that the president has not made a decision. But is that a red line for some Republicans?
I think it is, but I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're at the point. I think what we need to encourage, though, is our Middle East partners to engage if a land conflict does take place. I think there's a clear divide, though. You know, Iran, when this thing started, Israel was allowed to fly over Saudi airspace, which to me sent a very clear message to Iran. They're tired of this. The Middle East is tired of it. They'd rather their kids grow wealthy and not die in a war. And I suspect that, you know, they're fed up with the old ways of doing things. And when you've got these old leaders, though, you got an Ayatollah that, you know, believes that little boys who tweet need to be hung, little girls who put makeup on need to get their eyes poked out, women that get raped should be stoned. Those are the kind of things that this is an archaic lifestyle, and it's demonic in my opinion. And the rest of the Middle East has said enough with this. We want the shackles of this off of us.
Yeah, the regime we can't forget. I mean, they just recently killed thousands of their own people. So Reza Pahlavi, that soundbite that I just played for you a moment ago, that was at CPAC. And the straw poll, I'm sure you've seen the results of this, for 2028 was won by Vice President J.D. Vance for a second consecutive year. But this seems like a real storyline, too. Secretary of State Marco Rubio gaining significant ground there, going from 3% all the way to 35% this year. Why is Rubio on the rise?
Well, man, he does everything, and he does it well. I was over at the White House the other day, and I think I saw him out mowing the backyard of the White House. The guy, every time I see Marco, well, I'm trying to see Marco. He's busting it, and he does it all, and he's a one-stop shop. I think he'd be a great partner with JD. I think they would be very much a dynamic duo because America is tired. I think it's a new face in leadership. And, you know, in the last few years, they weren't even on the scene. And now they're just right in the front of everyone. And, of course, with J.D., our vice president, taking over the fraud situation, more or less the Doge, and going to start going after some of these dirt bags, I think is a great thing.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that because you and Ro Khanna on the opposite side of the aisle, you guys have come together and you say you're introducing a new bill to fight fraud, waste, and abuse. Tell us more.
Well, actually, Ro and I talked about that, and he brought it to me and said, hey, is this something you'd be interested in? And I said, absolutely. And it goes to all 50 states and requires basically an audit of where their money's going and who's getting it and how it's done. Now, if I'd done it by myself, the Democrats would have balked at it. If Roe had done it by himself, the Republicans would have balked at it. But I don't agree with Roe on anything, ma'am. Other than I find he's been a pretty honest guy to deal with, and I like him.
Well, look, gridlock in Washington is one of the things that drive the American people absolutely bonkers. So it is nice to see you guys reaching across the aisle there. You are a member of the House Transportation Committee too, and I spoke with a TSA worker who isn't being paid right now. This is a massive story as people are just trying to enjoy their Easter holiday, their spring break holiday. I spoke with that TSA worker, and she says that she's just fed up with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Listen to this.
You guys entirely have that power and control. Stop it. I don't understand why you continue doing this. Both sides are equally at fault here. First in the Senate, the Democrats were blocking it. Now the Republicans are blocking it in the House. It seems like they're both fighting over the same agency and forgetting about those of us that have no part of that. And we're just going to continue to not be funded because of it.
Yeah, these are real people, and they're making sure that nefarious things don't get through security and get on board airplanes. And here they are having to accept gas cards and canned goods just to fill up their tank and make it to work and to feed themselves and feed their families. So what's your message to her and all the Americans who are in these long security lines right now about why you guys can't come together and figure this thing out?
I've been in them the last 4 weeks myself, and I'm truly sorry and apologetic the way we've acted in this thing. They've been a pawn in all this, and it's disgusting to me. And I think President Trump showed true leadership by going in and saying we're just going to do it by executive order. Mark Mullen, I think, signed the paperwork the other day. They'll be paid on Monday. And when Elon Musk said he was going to do it himself, the Democrats raised a fit about it. To me, it just shows that these folks are pawns, and I hate it. I see them when I come through Knoxville. I went to school with some of the folks over there, and I grew up with them. And I hate even making eye contact because that is a weak excuse. And we should be in Washington right now. Thune should have never cut that deal with Schumer in the middle of the night, and should have brought us in on it on the front end. But he did what the stereotypical Washington thing that people think Congress does. They cut a dirty deal in the middle of the night and they sneak out of town, and that's exactly what they did.
A lot of finger pointing from both sides of the aisle there. Your Tennessee Volunteers are about to battle for a spot in this year's Final Four. You think they can bring down Michigan?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I love our coach. He is the epitome. He's not some bumper sticker Christian, ma'am. He lives it, and he and his family are wonderful people, and we love having them here in Knoxville. And my buddy John Felton, he always gets me these new shirts every time they come out. We have a prior friendship, so it's legal. So if you're getting ready to turn me into ethics, but
okay.
But no, we have it's just a
great.
Tennessee is something special this year, and we love our coach and we love that ball team.
Yep, I'll have to get my dad one of those shirts too. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us and weighing in on our day's top stories. Republican Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. Thanks.
Thank y'all for having me on, ma'am.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.